have at our disposal now are spellbinding at times. Able to bring in so much information and really high quality images, and just do it right here in my little old homestead.
Beautiful.
So what I've attempted to depict here is what we're calling the Genesis moment for the initiation of the lightning path. That was back on March 3rd, 1986, when I had, and this is what I've brought in our imagery that it, hopefully resonates with you as to what I went through on that particular day. And basically it was me first thing in the morning, sitting down to my desk, and with a day just like this, sun was coming up, and our view to the south had the mountains, the Rocky Mountains on the right, and then the plains on the left, and Calgary on the left, basically. Our home was in west of Spence's, or west of Calgary, in Springbank, it's called. So there I am, off to a great new day. I'm opening my journal up, and suddenly I just had this incredible feeling of a presence that was above the house, and which dissolved the ceiling of my home there. And at the same time, I got this sense of like the mothership has arrived. That's the metaphor that I've been using, because that's what it felt like. It was this overarching presence, and I was zapped, is what it felt like. A Kundalini awakening is the way I would explain it, where my whole spine became on fire, and in my vision, I saw ahead this line. If you look closely, there's hieroglyphs here, one after the other, heading up to the mothership, and a little smaller all the way. This is evoking the notion of the journey. This is what I was experiencing, was that I had the moment, in that moment, the opportunity, the invitation to engage in a mythic quest. And the Mayan Tzolk'in calendar is basic to that journey, because it's giving us the map of consciousness of upcoming stages. So I'm at the very beginning point of the journey here. And 1986 was a really powerful year for me in my studies, and I especially in conjunction with Jose Arguelles and his production of the book Earth Ascending, which was his like magnum opus of all his work. He calls it the graduate student level when you start getting into the Tzolk'in in this way. So now what I was seeing and feeling was that I was being called to make a commitment to experiencing all the different 260 sectors of the Tzolk'in. And I would do so on the basis of them being one lunar cycle at a time. So every lunar cycle has a corresponding number and glyph. And all I had to do was pay attention and just move ahead and keep in touch with the symbology. And every new moon then became a renewal, a point of renewal. So discarding the engagement I'm having with 2 Kaban and moving on to 3, Etzenab, that sort of thing. And in that journey, I've had moments of expanded insight, and one of those was realizing, and it's depicted here on the left-hand side, the study 1970 to 1986, a journey of synthesis. So this was me experiencing the integration of astrology, the I Ching, the Mayan Tzolk'in calendar, the chakra system. I mean, they were all knitted together, and I was being gifted with the vision of those, of that synthesis. And Arguelles' book, Earth Ascending, was fundamental to that. Rudyard's book, The Lunation Cycle, another one that's so important. and then the fact that I was journaling, and I must say, if you're into this lightning path journey yourself, if you're taking the invitation and you're moving ahead with me, sector by sector, you'll want to keep a journal of some kind, even if it's just a little notebook that you make little entries to. When you, well, for example, here's me last night. I'm going back to 1986. I've got a journal, and I can open those pages and go exactly to that particular date. And by reading what's in the journal, I'm taken there. The memory bank just comes alive. It's almost like you smell the paper, and it influences your intake. It expands your whole memory activation capacity. This is what I'm experiencing. As soon as I get into that journal, I'm going there. I'm boom. I can feel it, and so I highly recommend that as a part of this whole journey.
Just a note on your graphic.
Yeah.
When I see that mothership
Mm-hmm.
and you're facing out, I mean, we connected through the 1008 Buddha project. And one Buddha that I did, most of them are, the majority are all facing towards me. I did one where he's sitting within the cave and looking out. And he's in the caves in Danhuang, China.
Oh.
That's where the project was inspired.
Yeah.
And actually, in the actual caves themselves, painted on the ceiling is a circular, looks exactly like what you've got there, a circular mothership above
Wow.
the Buddha looking out. I'll send you a copy of that.
Oh, I'd love to see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share it so we'll both see it, please?
Oh, yeah, I'll send it. Yes. So it goes to the group.
Oh, fantastic.
Mhm.
Now, had you been there yourself physically?
No,
No.
not in this lifetime.
Okay.
But I think I was an old cave painter.
Right on. Well, that was such a project you did. Maybe for the people that don't know, if you could say a few words about that, what you did there.
Yeah, it's interesting because it was impermanent, as everything is. And yeah, it started back in 2010. And it's the 1008 Buddha project. And I just started painting one of Sophia's paintings that she gave away. And it was one of my faves. And I said, oh, I can paint it. Did it on a 6x6. I said, oh, that was fun. I did a few more, and then I started to push pin and put them on the wall. And then National Geographic at that time arrived in the mail, and the article was about the cave painters of Danhuang. And I open it up, and there's all these 6x6 Buddhas all lined up in the caves. So
wow.
I said, oh, there's an inspiration.
Mhm.
So I know 108 is very auspicious. And I said, well, what about, I mean, that won't be too difficult to paint that many. The project would end pretty quickly. So I checked out 1008 and there was nothing nefarious about it. It was okay. So turned it into 1008 and started painting, and then friends saw them and and that's when I got onto Facebook, started posting. Long story short, it went around the world to 81 different artists and 11 countries, and they all mailed me the 1008. And
That
I
was one of
built
those.
frames. Yeah, Dwayne contributed, and I put them up on the walls in the apartment and studio, and called it the cave. And it was a lot of fun. And then they meditated there together for 2 years. And then it was time for them to go out into the world. So then I started to distribute them out.
Wow.
And there's a few still in the monastery, and some that have ventured out into the world.
Incredible.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
And on
thank
that
you.
note, I'll watch this presentation later as I need to get ready now to board the ferry.
Right on. I'm so glad we had you here.
Yes.
for
Have a
this
wonderful journey,
start.
wonderful adventure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Happy full moon, guys.
You bet. Same to
You
you,
too,
brother.
Steve. Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Okay, well, let's push on here. And
Mm.
unless do you have anything you'd like to say at this point, Brenda?
No, I think I'm thoroughly enjoying just listening. I think what you're saying and sharing is what needs to get out to the world.
Right on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It means a lot to me that you keep showing up, like it really does. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
It means a lot to be here, so
Right
thank
on.
you.
Okay, just to the little yellow submarine here was part of that moment of all this information congealing and swirling around me and the mothership and all of that. Well, at the same time, there's this little creature almost. It's a submarine depiction, but it has a life, and it loves to push messages around in text. So here we are. At the same time as I'm getting all of this insight, there's this humming I'm going through, which was to the tune of the Beatles song "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds."
Beautiful.
And so I'm hearing this song. Picture yourself in a boat on a time beam with pulsating people whose lives are divine.
Love it. I love it.
I mean, where did that come from?
From the divine.
From the divine, and it's still with
Yes.
us. It's just been so great. I just love it. It brings in the humor vibe very quickly and easily, and also the questing. Each of the little spirals depicts a human life,
Mhm.
from first breath to last breath, and we've got this spiral of energy in between. And yeah, it just all feels like such an incredible gift from the ancestors.
Yes.
Just filled with an abundance of opportunity to remember. And so here we are right now in a sixth Ahau moon cycle. We're halfway through, and I've been bearing that hieroglyph and number in mind day by day. That's part of the practice, is just to hold the image up and allow it to permeate our consciousness. Like there's a it's like the hieroglyph of the month club. Only we're on a new moon, full moon rhythm, and it very much is a rhythm that was not apparent to me at this particular juncture, 1986. But not that long after, I got that there's also this connection with the I Ching. And that's a whole other layer of complexity that I won't go into in this particular moment. But just to say there's level upon level of connection here with this whole synthesis. And so my role now seems to be to just keep putting out the invitation
Mhm.
and consolidating as many resources as I can. So we have the Lightning Path website. I'm writing about the whole shebang, and that's coming forth in not only one book now, but two books are kind of on the front burner, and there will be more. And so one of the things I did in the past along these lines is to do my own interpretation of each hieroglyph. So the 20 hieroglyphs of the Mayan Tzolk'in, and as an artist, I'm going into each one and responding in a way that feels like it's bringing that glyph to life, and it may serve somebody else in their exploration of these glyphs. So on that note, we'll push on to going through the 20 hieroglyphs. There we are, the little guy going by.
Love it.
Just in case we forgot about it. But here we go. And we're beginning from the most primordial frame of reference, and that is the center point, the central mandalic principle. This is the infinite communing, infinite unity. Words don't describe it, but it really is the primordial point of beginning, which in the Mayan Tzolk'in is called one Imix. So that's all 260 combinations flashing through, and here comes one Imix. So as the artist, I'm going in and so how do I depict the Great Mother? Well, you go digging on the internet for imagery, and you pull this one in and pull that one in, you resize it, and you get a background, and it's just a wonderful creative catalyst. The hieroglyph is there vibrating all the time, and if you start tuning into it, you're going to get your own inspiration coming through, because you've set yourself a task. I'm here to interpret, and it can be just a wonderful creative adventure. That's been my experience. So along with that, I've got this is a couple of pages from my book. This one here, available on Amazon. Dwayne Rourke, The Lightning Path. That'll get you there. And so what we have in there, I'll just read the text. To enter the realm of the 20 glyphs is to enter the living alphabet of the soul, an ancient symbolic language through which the Maya understood the rhythms of creation and the stages of spiritual unfolding. Each glyph is not merely a symbol, but a state of consciousness, a facet of the universal intelligence that expresses itself through all forms of life. Together, these 20 archetypes form a complete cycle of being, a spiral of transformation that begins with primordial awakening and culminates in radiant illumination. Just as the tones describe how energy moves, the glyphs describe who is moving. What aspect of the great mystery is taking form in us as we walk our human journey? The glyphs are often spoken of as if they were external deities or mythic figures. But on the lightning path, they are understood as inner teachers, archetypal presences alive within the psyche. Each glyph is a doorway, an invitation into a particular field of awareness. When the solar kin, and this is elaborated on in the book, and refers to the relationship that your birth has through the sun to the Tzolk'in. We derive mathematically what's called the solar kin. So when the solar kin reveals the glyph we carry at birth, it is revealing the archetype that seeks to express itself through us over the course of our lives. It is the mythic identity we incarnate to embody, the pattern of energy and intelligence that shapes our perception, our gifts, our challenges, and our contribution to the world. Now, more specifically, speaking about Imix, Imix begins the sequence. It is the primal womb the place of beginnings, the fertile darkness from which everything arises. In Imix, consciousness first stirs. It is the pulse of creation, before form, the mother waters of being. From this oceanic potential emerges Ik, the breath of spirit. So we're moving on now to Ik. In comes the breath of spirit. In comes Kokopelli. From this oceanic potential emerges Ik, the breath of spirit, the wind that carries inspiration and communication. Ik gives voice to the ineffable, stirring the mind awake and reminding us that life is animated by the invisible. So on to Akbal. Akbal follows as the dream house, the inner sanctuary, where mystery reveals itself. It holds the fertile tension between light and shadow, guiding us through the night to discover the hidden chambers of the soul. So they're
amazing imagery. Just
it's such a, I mean, the process of creating them, every element has its own energy and it's
Yes.
vibrating in, coming in with the other components. And I just love it.
it just pulls one right in. It's
Then comes Can, the seed, the spark of life seeking to take root. Can awakens desire, intention, and the subtle intelligence that guides growth from within. Chikchan ignites the body with instinctual fire. Here the serpent stirs, awakening vitality, passion, and the primal wisdom of embodiment.
Here I am feeling that night out under the moon that spoke to me, and to find out a week and a half later that it was my birth moon, and this is my kin and temple. So.
Right on. Kimi arrives as the transformer. Vitality, passion, and the primal wisdom. No, I'm sorry. I got mixed up here. Kimi arrives as the transformer, the guide through death and rebirth. It teaches surrender, transition, and the truth that endings are gateways to deeper becoming. This image that I've created here includes parts of a painting that Teresa and I did together while a friend of ours was on her deathbed, which made it just incredibly profound for us at the time. And yeah, it was a very spacious kind of feeling and attunement. The guiding us as well as our friend. Now we have Manik. Manik brings the energy of healing and restoration. It teaches the power of offering oneself in service. The grace that arises when we become instruments of wholeness. When we're talking wholeness and cycles and so on, we look here and in the center we have this serpent biting its tail. You know, a symbol of wholeness, completeness. and always a part of any healing process.
There's just so much in every picture.
Mm-hmm. Now this one, Lamat, I'm talking earlier about one's solar kin. My solar kin is 7 Lamat. And this is part of this image is Teresa and I co-creating that painting of Lamat. And I love how cosmic she looks.
Very cosmic.
Being a very cosmic gal.
Yes.
So Lamat follows like a burst of starlight, beauty, harmony, abundance, the radiance of Venus shining through human creativity. It reveals the inherent brilliance of life and asks us to shine with authenticity. One of my nieces just got married and sent her a gift and so on. And she came back with a request that I share with her and her hubby. What is it that has kept the two of you, me and Teresa, alive together in happiness and wholeness?
Yes.
And I haven't answered her back yet, but I'm going to be sharing with her the fact that Teresa and I, we're not legally married, we're just married by choice. Mm-hmm. And what we've based our whole relationship on was being authentic. Yes. We're together as long as we're authentic. If we want to stray from being authentic, then there's going to be a parting of the ways.
Yes.
And that's something we put in place 16 years ago, and still feels especially relevant right here and right now.
My
Living
friends Louis and Sue from Whitehorse, they were over 30 years together, but that's what their relationship was based on. And as soon as if they were to stop growing spiritually together, the relationship would end because it wasn't gifting themselves, their authenticity, their growth.
Yeah. Oh, that's great to hear.
Yes.
Thank you. Now we move on to Muluk. Muluk is the sacred offering, the return of energy to its source. Through Muluk, we learn to release, to cleanse, to honor the cycles of giving and receiving. And if you look closely, what we have here is a depiction of the lunation cycle and the lunation cycle practice that comes along with the lightning path. So at the very up above the hands, we have the face, and then up at the very top corner is the dark of the moon. And the moon's moving now then to the left, and we see the first quarter moon. And then at the bottom, the full moon. And then back to last quarter, and then from last quarter back to new moon. So this is the cycle of wholeness, that if you're on the lightning path, you are engaged with this cycle, and you'll find that it'll help steady you in a turbulent time. There's a real baseline kind of energy that comes in through that kind of practice, and you've always got that baseline to come back to. And I feel very grateful to have gotten on board with that cycle back in 1972 through Rudyard's book, The Lunation Cycle, which is the book. If you want to learn about the lunar cycle, that's it. We now have Oak. Oak opens the heart, awakening loyalty, companionship, and the deep bonds of love that hold communities together. Well, here's Teresa out swimming with our dog Goldie, And we're at Mud Lake here, just on the outskirts of town. This is one of our incredible gifts of place that we've enjoyed these 16 years here. And of course, the passion that can be felt toward one's dog, especially a magnificent dog like we had here, it's just so real. It's just so sustaining to have that connection. And so grateful for what we experienced with that gal.
I love the life that you two have created.
Thank you. It's
that radiates outward.
Thank you. So on to Chuen. The monkeys, artists, and tricksters arrive. Yours truly arrives in painting mode. Chuen arrives as the child artist, the trickster, the weaver of time. It embodies play, magic, spontaneity, and the joy of creation for its own sake. Yeah. Gotta love it.
Yes. I look over at my lunation, my mandala, my medicine wheel there, along with a whole gamut of cards I'm working on.
Right on. Yeah, we're on the same beam here. Next we go to Ebb. Ebb steps in with the wisdom of the human path. And this has been a difficult image for me. At times I feel like I'd like to redo it. There's a little too much chaos going on. But if you sit with it long enough, you'll see the figure, the hands, the shoulder, the arm. This is the person engaged in, the creative process. There's always a little chaos in the bringing forth of new form. Ebb steps in with the wisdom of the human path. Ebb represents free will, growth through experience, and the journey toward conscious maturity.
It's interesting looking up not the kins, but originally I was just able to look up the temple of birth.
Yeah.
And it has never failed to be right on for the people. And recently I met somebody, they're the only one I've met that has been the empowered human.
Yeah.
And my goodness, do they fit the description well?
Right on.
Perfectly. Yes.
Oh yeah, I love those moments of confirmation. Yeah, good one. Thank you. On to Ben. Stands tall as the cosmic pillar, the explorer who moves beyond known boundaries, seeking alignment with higher purpose. This image I really enjoyed putting together. In the background, those are actual crystals.
Oh, they are.
That's a microscope rendition of what's going on at the molecular level.
My goodness.
Kind of confirms that as above, so below axiom.
Yes. Wow.
And there's these two pillars, the black pillars, the Dwayne and Teresa pillars, out for a walk in this magnificent, mysterious creation that we live in.
Magnificent, the perfect word.
Yeah. Now on to Ish, opens the realm of magic and intuition, calling us to remember our relationship with the natural world and the subtle realms of spirit. So this central image here comes from a painting I did where I started, of course, with a blank canvas. And as was my process at the time, I just opened up to receiving. And suddenly I got this a sense that I was in the presence of a Nordic shaman. Definitely had the Nordic feel to it, and that we have connection. You know? And suddenly I've got horns. You know?
Yes.
Totally just by showing up and being open to receive, you know. Blank canvas, empty mind, you know, ready to go. And this is who popped in.
Wow. Another wow.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness. What a gift.
Good. Now we come to men. Men spreads its wings as the eagle, lifting consciousness into broad vision and prophetic insight. It sees the vast patterns of life and brings messages from the sky. So there we have the eagle dancer, the eagle, and the background image is actually a photo I took from across the valley and hiking up into the similar terrain to what we see here. And as I looked across, there was the eagle on the left, and it felt so good to integrate that image with these other components.
Perfect.
And bring forth that evocation.
And this is Quinton,
Yes.
which can feel that
Yeah.
for sure.
Many eagles. Kib follows with ancestral wisdom. Kim follows with ancestral wisdom the quiet clarity of the sage who knows the value of reflection, stillness, and humility. So quite an abstracted image, but we're getting cosmic on the left. And the big black at the bottom of the image is the profile of the mountain that's directly out my window here. That's the view I get at night.
Yes.
And that's what we call the chief. It has a couple of other names, but that's the one that Teresa and I resonate best with. And you can kind of get a profile of the face there.
So much meaning to every little bit.
Mm-hmm. And reinforcing that whole sense of, you know, be still and you will be filled. You know, energy and information will come to you. In fact, stillness, being still, is a prerequisite, you know.
Yes.
That's why meditation is so important in our lives. Now, Kaban shakes the world like an earthquake, activating movement, evolution, and the courage to change. It brings synchronicity and alignment with the deeper currents of the earth. So this is an image, the background image is of up what's called Dead Man Valley, and there's the Dead Man Valley hoodoos, which is a portion of what we're seeing here. My first encounter with that place was like, wow, this is a temple. This is an ancient temple. And yeah, it was really a wonderful encounter. Total earth force. Next we go to Etznab, the Hall of Mirrors. The obsidian mirror, revealing truth with uncompromising clarity. It cuts through illusion, offering the sharp medicine of honesty and self-recognition. I think when I put this image together, it was the notion of clarity, the clarity of truth. That's what really was ringing for me at the time.
I'm ever so grateful that you were chosen for this path and you've stayed committed to it. What an evolution of.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Magic, miracles, grace. Oh,
Kawak. Kawak thunders into being as the storm, the catalyst of transformation. It purifies through intensity, awakening. The inner lightning that breaks stagnation and renews the soul. And finally, and then we go on to Ahau. But this is where we're here with Kawak. And swirling in this image are portions of paintings that Teresa and I did together. There's the central light body figure with the two arms facing down. That was a co-creation with Teresa and I. It was a huge painting. It was as big as she was. We used her as a reference point and filled it with this. It was honoring the initial revelation I got on March 3rd, 86. You know, this
yes.
vertical infusion of energy, and how it just animates my creativity. And finally, Ahau. We're in an Ahau moon right now. We're at the full moon of Ahau. Ahau is often related to the whole Christ mythos, and so we have Christ showing up. This is the Christ principle that we're evoking, not so much the figurehead of it. It's that core principle that we all have access to. This is the wisdom of this teaching, is that we're all called to vibrate with our core essence. And that core essence will be of the quality of Christ consciousness. Ahau, the radiant sun, the flowering of consciousness, the golden presence of awakened mind. In Ahau, the journey reaches its fulfillment, revealing the essence of enlightenment, wholeness, and illumination. Yet the glyphs are not a straight line from Imix to Ahau. They are a cycle, a spiral, a mandala of possibilities. Throughout a lifetime, we encounter each of these archetypes many times. They appear in dreams, in relationships, in challenges and breakthroughs, in moments of insight or upheaval. They arise within us as moods, impulses, intuitions, and deep currents of knowing. To walk the lightning path is to become aware of these presences, to recognize when the serpent of Chikchan is stirring, when the truth mirror of Etsnab is calling, when the compassion of Oak is needed, when the illumination of Ahau is near. Each glyph enriches the soul's journey in its own way. Some teach through softness, others through fire. Some invite play, others demand surrender. Some point upward toward transcendence, others draw us inward toward the depths of embodiment. But all 20 work together, forming a complete spectrum of consciousness. When a person discovers their natal glyph, when they learn which archetype their solar kin carries into incarnation, it is as though a door opens within the psyche. Suddenly, experiences make sense. Patterns long felt but never articulated reveal their meaning. The glyph provides a mythic lens through which life becomes coherent. It offers a name to the inner teacher that has been guiding the person all along. In this way, the 20 glyphs serve not only as symbols, but as companions. They remind us that the journey of awakening is shared across time and culture, that others have walked these paths before, and that the great intelligence of life continues to move through us, shaping our evolution one glyph at a time. To know the glyphs is to speak the language of the cosmos. To embody them is to participate consciously in the great unfolding of consciousness that the lightning path reveals.
Thank you so very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for receiving. That's the last word to the presentation. From St. Augustine, 399 AD, who said, "People travel to wonder at the height of mountains, at the huge waves of the sea, at the long courses of rivers, at the vast compass of the ocean, at the circular motion of the stars, and they pass by themselves without wondering."
A life of wonderment that we are in.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Life of wonderment.
Yeah.
Connected with a wonderful group here that are very committed on this journey, and resonating with, sitting in that radiance, learning, growing, and so how I looked in the Mayan oracle, and the color, something made me look at the color again, so it was gold.
Yeah.
And one of these friends is with a group called Ask Theo, and after the evening ended, I thought, where is gold going to pop up? And after our evening ended, I went and I realized the book sitting on my nightstand is called Theo of Golden. It's like, oh God.
Like I've said, the queen of synchronicity.
Like, do I have to worry about anything, or can we just surrender to the wonderment and
Right
listen
on.
and act upon our guidance? And
Yeah. On and on we go.
yes. And then our egos pop in and want to,
Of
take
course.
us back a little bit, and
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dwayne.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I look forward to sharing this because I think it puts it out there so beautifully.
Would be great. Yeah, I would ask any of you who are watching this, I'd really appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up. I've learned that the algorithms, they really look at numbers of likes, and we could definitely reach more people if everybody that watched it did a like. It would be awesome. So that's a little message to those that are watching now.
And I'm one that hasn't always liked, even though I watch. So
Yeah.
it's time to step up and do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yes.
When I go through the stats, so over the years, this is our 64th. Some of the earlier ones, they're in the hundreds. So
Are they?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think there's any that are in the thousands, but one of my Arguelles videos is over 1,000,
Is it?
which
Yes.
is good to know. Yeah, because friend had the technology and he gifted it to me to use for the workshop that I arranged for Jose Arguelles and his wife Lloydine. This was prior to harmonic convergence, which he was the worldwide coordinator of. And yeah, had a 3-day workshop with him in Calgary and out to Bragg Creek and out to Nakota Lodge, and it was really a wonderful engagement. And I managed to catch some video of it, which, as it turns out, at that particular time in Arguelles' path, that wasn't happening. He was constantly putting stuff out, but no video.
No
And
video.
there we got it, and yeah, it was really. I'm glad to see it used.
So what would I look up to find it?
Well, if you're on my YouTube channel, it's in. I think there's a playlist specifically to Arguelles.
Okay.
So if you're on the channel, you'll find it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You might even just do a search for Arguelles and Rourke.
Yes, I'll do that.
I love the picture of them, the two of us with Mount Yamnuska in the background. And I'm looking up to him. He's my elder brother, 10 years older and taller. But we hit it off. He's Aquarius as well. So, yeah. And he was a fun guy to play with in the cosmic. I love it when he came into my home. He took one look this way and one look that way, and he says, "Well, this is where a shaman would live," because it had different crystals and drums and the whole works. And yeah, just a great guy.
And that was Bragg Creek.
No, I was at Red Creek was in the picture because a friend had 20 acres, and the whole Lightning Path group kind of grounded on his property when the teepees sprang up, and and we'd do ceremony out there. And but I was living in Calgary on Electric Avenue, the furthest west end of Electric Avenue. Pretty wild place. In this very old house, which had a peak like this. This is important for the connection to Arguelles' work and what he brought forth in Earth Ascending. There was this house that I'm looking across at, and it's got a square up at the peak, and there's 64 rosettes, we'll call them, in that square. Well, there's your I Ching connection right there.
My goodness.
And there was the image on the side would also fit in because that was evoking the greater context.
Yes.
And the story is in my first book, The Lightning Path. This little guy, no home should be without it. Great for looking up temples of birth. But it's the story of the synchronicity of that, me getting that square at that time was very important for me because I was struggling with the breakup of our family.
Yes.
That came with this whole picture. And to get that image, it was just like another indication from spirit that I was on the right, as painful as it was, I was on the right track here for the greater work, which I was committed to, not knowing at the time that it was going to break up, but we knew there had to be a huge adjustment in our relationship because it just was not working. That was the most stressful time in my life, and got through it. And,
yes, here you are.
Yeah. And
3
the daughter
grandkids
and I are
later.
still in good shape.
Pardon me. Oh, did you say?
The daughter and I, because that was very traumatic for her.
I bet. How old was she?
8, I think. Yeah. It was a big one for her to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you live close to each other?
It was Springbank to Calgary, so it was the same city, so.
Okay.
Yeah. She's in Calgary still. So
Yes. Yeah. All these years later.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm. And she is your twin.
What's
Or
that?
your, she is your twin clone, whatever. She's your daughter.
She's.
It's
I acknowledge
she
her as
is
my teacher
so your
because
daughter.
of anybody that can push my buttons, it's her. And then over the years, I've learned to accept that as a gift.
Yes,
I
yes,
got to look at this. I got to look at this. What part am I playing here in this emotional upset, that we're going through?
yes, yes.
And it's been a godsend to
Hmm.
finally get to the place where I'm taking responsibility for what I bring to the table.
Yes, yeah.
And she's doing the same. And it's been good for both of us. I mean, we just love each other madly. So
And
all you
that's
need is love.
yes, 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 yes. Da, 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 da.
Pull that card many times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and if all of humanity could just get
Mm.
that we're mirrors of each other and
Yeah.
take responsibility and take everything as a gift to see more, learn more,
Yeah.
grow more.
Yeah. Yeah. On that note, there's a great book that just popped up off the my bookshelf the other day. Carlos Castaneda,
I don't have
The
that
Wheel of
one.
Time. The
Oh, no.
Shamans of Ancient Mexico, Their Thoughts About Life, Death, and the Universe. And there's
Okay.
your lunation cycle.
Yes, right there.
And there's, you flip it open and you get, not a whole lot of text, but for example, a warrior must learn to be available and unavailable at the precise turn of the road. It
Mm.
is useless for a warrior to be unwittingly available at all times, as it is useless for him to hide when everybody else knows that he is hiding. So you get little snippets like
It's,
that. And I quite enjoyed reconnecting with that book just the other
yep,
day.
I don't have that one, but in, the last couple of weeks since the new moon, it's, I've had stuff become apparent and I always try to listen to the guidance and so I had been doing the stepping back and this particular day I had options. I could do things, but I just kept getting to just be still, I was
Yeah.
reading Theo of Golden actually.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I was reading Michael Crichton's autobiography,
Okay.
which was journeying into
Yeah. What's it?
lands with the shamans. And
Oh, that is his.
it's,
Yeah. I know the name, and I'm not getting a connection
he
to what.
wrote Jurassic Park, Andromeda
Oh,
Strained,
okay.
and
There you
on
go.
and on.
Yeah.
And it was the empowered human that told me about this book.
Mm.
So that's what I was reading, which was really significant, very impactful.
Right.
Um, and then I'm out there, and then all of a sudden it was like time to get up and move and go get my few groceries. And I walk into the bakery, and there is one of my friends that I've been gathering with, and he does a healing process. We go for coffee, and then what happened? It was just like divine
Oh, nice.
guidance, timing that just
Yeah.
that be still, go out and move,
Right
and
on.
this week again has been one of those, like my body has said, be still.
Yeah.
And then last night it was the perfect time to go out and be with wonderful people and
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And then here we are.
I'm looking forward to the same kind of experience this afternoon, our Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon jam session over at the packing house.
Nice,
So
nice.
looks like we got the weather for it. So I'm quite enjoying that.
Yes. Well, I'll be off to visit my friend from Soyuz who we've been friends for 72 years.
Oh God, that's incredible. That's wonderful. God, 72
3 years.
years.
I know. Very,
Hmm.
very different from each other in certain ways.
Yeah.
And she's always lived, well, since we graduated from school, she's always lived out of town, but we have always been brought together when we've needed each other.
Mm,
And,
nice. Hmm. And she's solo?
Pardon me?
She's on her own or she's in a relationship?
No, she's in relationship. They're
Okay.
the ones that have the property in a Soyuz.
Okay.
Yeah, he owns that land. She has her own place, but they move from place to place together as
Okay.
a couple. Yeah,
Right.
yes.
Oh, now on that note, last session we left it off. There was the black cat and
Right, yes.
and the octagon and the octagon
Yes.
structures. Did,
Yes.
did you manage to get any information on that? I
I
sent you
s-
that name, and that was all I had.
I
Uh,
sent that off to Linda and she was told Give about it. And so I think what they're going to do, and I put a few things together. They're going to get the book that Tyson is part of,
mhm.
but I gave them all the information on the octagonal buildings, all the information, and now it's sitting with them.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's sitting with them,
Interesting.
and yeah, in all my excitement, I thought this is so synchronistic. I thought a lot would happen
Yeah.
quickly, but
Yeah.
it hasn't. So
Right.
yeah, so out of my hands, and yeah, but we will visit, and who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And then it turned out that Tyson knows somebody down here that I've met through the open mic, and he used to host her workshops up there. So again, all the threads connecting, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh. The threads that connect.
Yes, yes. That weave or woven, whatever.
Mhm. Well, it's been a very full session.
It has, yes. But I don't know what time it is. Oh,
I've got 22:11, so
yes.
we could either continue or cut it off right here.
Well, I think with all that has been shared, I think it's good to cut it off here and keep that powerful energy in a nice little beautiful container.
Right on. Well, thank you again for your tireless showing up in
Oh,
this.
my gratitude to you. Thank you. And Teresa, and it's wonderful getting to know
Oh,
her
isn't it great?
better.
I love
Yes,
having her come in.
yes,
It's taken a long time.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely worth the wait.
Hmm.
Okay, girl.
See you soon.
Yeah, couple of weeks.
Yes. Thank you, Dwayne.
Yeah, thank you. Bye for now.
Love you. Bye.